Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial on object-oriented programming in Java. In the last tutorial I talked about the interfaces, and I said that whenever you are declaring an interface and whenever a class is going to implement that interface, the method in the interface must be implemented in the implementing class. Otherwise there would be a problem. So meaning that if I bring out this example, that I have the hello interface and then I have a simple method say hello. Okay, if the hello IMPL class implements the hello interface, it has to do what? It has to implement this method. If you don't implement, there will be a error. Okay, but there are some situations where we can get along with this, and from Java 8 onward we are allowed to have default methods. So in this case the default is a keyword, so we are allowed to have default methods which are going to implement methods in interfaces. Okay, so this is quite an opposite. In the first statement we say that the implementing class has to implement the method which is defined in the interface, but in the second statement we are saying that the implementing class may not implement the method defined in the interface as long as there is this keyword default. Okay, now let's see that in a code. So I have defined here this shape.java class, and you can see that I have defined two methods here. One is the default void display default, and I'm printing here hello from default, and the other one is the static method, and I'm printing hello from static. And you can see that there is the keyword default here. This is not an access modifier, this is just the default keyword. Now when I'm going to run it in the shape text, and then let's run as Java application, and then you can see that I'm going to see the prints hello from default and hello from static. Now let's go and visit the shape test Java file. So here you can see that I have this shape test, so I have instantiated this class, and then I am invoking the method display default. So I'm invoking the method through what? Through the reference. And which one I'm invoking? I'm invoking the method that I have defined in the interface, okay, and which is an implementation. And in the second case I am accessing the static method of the interface directly through the interface. This is just same as the class, you know, when we say that the static members have to access it, we can access directly through the class, and then the dot, and then we invoke the method. The same here, we are calling the interface first, and then there is the dot, and then we are directly accessing there. So let's say I take off this default and I'm just commenting this out. So this is going to be a perfect implicit abstract method within the interface, so the interface doesn't have any problem. So when I save, you can see immediately there is an error here. So let's go there, and it's asking for that, hey, you have the inherited abstract method display default which is not implemented here. So this is an error. So in order to do that, in order to avoid whenever a class is not going to implement some of the interfaces, Java 8 and onward, they have come up with this idea. Okay, this idea is that let's have a default implementation of the method defined in the interface, and by that way what we can do, we can carry on without any error. And let's save it and see that if we don't put the word default, it is going to give you an error. So see, the default, without the default, it's giving you an error. So we have to put the keyword default, and this is gone. Okay, so the interface looks good, and if we go to shape.text, this also look good, and still we are implementing the interface. Now you can see that I have commented out the code here, and if we would like to implement in our own way, we can also do that. So let's say I just uncomment those, and this method is what? This method is basically coming from here. We have defined it here. So we have changed the implementation of the method by this statement. Now whenever I'm going to run it, let's save first, and then if I am going to run as Java application, and then you can see that now it is printing from implementation. That means it is printing from here, not from the interface. In what circumstances it is printing from the interface, and what circumstances it is printing from the class itself, that is a separate discussion, but we just need to know that there are some situations where we can have the default implementation of the methods in an interface. So that's all for today. Thank you.